Memorial Day. Well, not really. Had to get it in early. So today we're going to do a Memorial Day barbecue on a budget. I'm going to feed my entire family on $25-ish. I may go over by pennies or $1, but we're in the ballpark. So I already did the shopping. I did really good. We have 3 different kinds of meat in this one. And usually I say the meat can't be the star of the show. Well, today we're gonna change that around a little bit. So without further ado, I got a lot of cooking to do. Let's get it, let's go. Let's heat up those pots. Come on. All right, here goes our grocery haul. I did phenomenal. We got a lot of meat in this one, and normally I don't make meat the star of the show. It just can't be it. But this time I think I did a good job. We got 3 different types of meats. But let's put this out per store. So on the left, I have Aldi's. I got hot dog buns, some barbecue sauce, and the coleslaw mix. On the right, I have Walmart. I have the cake mix, frosting, the baked beans, which we're going to zhuzh those up, and some bar-ass hot dogs. 4 pounds of chicken drumsticks. From ShopRite, I got 5 ears of corn. They were 5 for $2. I just break them in half, and that's fine for us. The ice cream cone cups, you're going to see what I'm going to do with that. The 24 was cheaper than the 12. 24 was $1.49. 12 was $2.49. And we got some ribs. Those things look like pork chops, but they're not. And I'll show you a close-up of it. These were the exact same price because what I went in there to get was that big slab that's heavy. That's almost 2 pounds of meat. It's the same meat, only over there it's sliced. This one was $6.49 and that one was $6.60 something for 64, I think it was, $3.32 a pack. Already sliced up, so I don't have to do it. So we're going with that one. They do look like pork chops, but they're not. It's ribs. It's the end portion of the ribs. So without further ado, let's get it, let's go. Let's start cooking. First thing we're gonna do is make that coleslaw. For the coleslaw, you're gonna need the 16 ounces. That ends up being 4 cups when you measure it out because I've measured it. You're gonna need a teaspoon of salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar or white vinegar if you don't have it, a teaspoon and a half of lemon, a cup of mayo, and a 1/3 cup of sugar. Use that as you will. You don't have to add it all. You can start by a tablespoon at a time and go from there. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rinse off the coleslaw. I don't know if anybody else does that, but I do. All right, here we go. Rinsed off coleslaw. Got to get all those carrots out of there because I love carrots. Most people mix the mayonnaise and all those kind of things together before they add it to this. But I don't because I don't always want the same amount of mayonnaise. I stop when I think it's good. So I just mix it up in the bowl. So, got to go with 2 tablespoons apple cider vinegar, 1.5 teaspoon lemon, 1 teaspoon salt, 1/4 teaspoon pepper, and that's really to taste. 1/3 cup of sugar. To me, that's a lot. So I just kind of add some, like maybe half of it. And then if I taste it, it needs it, I add more. 1 cup of mayo. And again, I don't add everything all at once. I'm going to do about 1/2 cup at first and see how that looks. And then just give it a big old mix. Needs more mayonnaise. So I'm putting nearly all of it in there. Yeah, that'll be good. And then we're just going to put that in the refrigerator. And when we have our dinner, it'll be ready. That's good. I'm not putting any more mayonnaise in there. Let me get a little bit of a taste. I know it's not set up, but let me get a little bit of a taste. This needs a little bit more sugar. I'm using a brand that I don't typically use of mayonnaise because it was on sale and doesn't have the same impact. I'm used to Hellmann's or Duke's. All right, let me go with my plastic spoon, fork. This is a clean one. Yeah, that's good. That's what I have left of it. And that's what I have left of the mayonnaise. In the refrigerator, on to the next step. This is what you're gonna need for the dessert. You're gonna need your cake mix, 12 ounces of soda, but if you're gonna spend the $1, get the whole bottle. Some frosting and some ice cream cones. You're gonna need one like this or a regular sized one. In there, you're gonna put your cake mix, whatever cake flavor you like. I may have done this last year. I cannot remember if I did or I didn't, but I've made these before on my channel. My kids love them. So you have your cake mix in there, and you're gonna add 12 ounces of soda. 7-Up, whatever. Mine is air quotes, 7-Up. And then we're just gonna give that a mix. That's it. No eggs, no oil, no nothing. I do it this way all the time, not just for this. When it comes to making a cake anymore, why bother? Eggs are too expensive. All right. I'm gonna give it a good scraping with this spatula here and make sure I got all the stuff in the bottom, but we're already ready to start making our dessert. So my ice cream scoop thingy is broken, a little thing that goes like that. So I'm going to use this. Typically I'd use 1 scoop, but this I'll probably use 2 scoops and just put it right down in there. And I'll do 2 scoops until I get to the end. And then don't fill them any higher than what you see here or your cake will overflow. If I need more, I can put more in there. But then you stand them up. Stand them up like that. Into the, I space them out. So, again, 1 scoop. 2 scoops. And then I'm going to do all 12. And if I get more, if I have extra, like I said, I'll come back and do those. 1 and 2. I think I have enough to make 2 more. I made a bunch. I filled them up. I don't want to fill them up too high. 1, 2. I don't know. I'm afraid to chance it. Let's just go for it. What the heck? Probably going to regret that decision. So these are going in the oven. It's been preheated to 350. Just cook it per the package instructions for cupcakes. I'm going to finish filling up this last one here, and in the oven she's going to go. Let's move on to the next thing. Alrighty, there's the first batch. I moved them into 2 separate trays. They almost went over. Whew! Alrighty, let me get the other ones out and we'll let them cool before we start icing them. I rummaged around in my closet and I found some sprinkles I might use, but they're fine without them or with them. They're gonna be just as good. And that's the second tray. All right, I have the meat out. I want to bring it down to temperature so it's not straight from the refrigerator going in to be cooked. I am going to par cook the chicken slightly in the oven so it's not so long when we get out to the grill. It will taste better that way. So I'm not going to boil the chicken though. I don't want to do that. So let me show you what I paid for these ribs. See that? $3.32. And the other one also, oops, $3.32. All right, what I'm gonna do is, the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this chicken, I'm gonna wash my chicken, and then I'm gonna get all of this ick off. All right, I'm gonna show you something I do to my chicken that maybe you already know, maybe you don't. So when you're cooking your chicken, you ever like bite a piece off and everything comes with it because you get that big old tendon or ligament, whatever it is in there? A good way to not have that happen is you take your chicken and you run your fingers underneath to loosen it. Loosen it from the chicken, right? Don't tear it, just keep breaking it free. You can almost see the tendon right in there. There's two of them that usually will mess up your bite. Okay, so you pull your chicken as far down as you can get it without ripping it. It's still attached. Okay. There's a big ligament right there. So go down, find the end of it, get up under it with your knife, and pull that piece off right there, see? Here it is. So it comes up to about here. So I'm not going to take the meat with it. I'm just going to take what I think I have to take, I guess is the word. But you won't get that big old chewy thing in your mouth. Just like that. And then you do the other side the same way. Find the tendon that's in there. One of them's easier to find than the other. Like this one's like right here. So come up that way. Go on down, and then chop it off. Right there. I'm going to leave the skin down because after I'm done, I'm going to season this, and then I'll pull the skin up and season again. So I'm just going to leave it down for now. And I'm going to continue that process. I'm going to cut off anything I think is icky and those tendons, so we could have nice bites of chicken. I got a really good one out. That's what I was trying to show you instead of the itty bitty one. So up under, I'm going to show you again. And go all the way down to the knuckle, as far as you can go without cutting it. All right. See how big that piece is? And then right underneath of it. Don't take away the meat, just the tendon. Very little. Let me turn it this way. There we go. Oops. Cut that piece off right there. If you do it right, you get the whole thing out. And there's not very much meat on it. Okay, just wanted to show you. Okay, so I'm all done with that part of it. Before I start seasoning the chicken, I'm going to season my pan. And I'll tell you why. Because once you season your chicken and you lay it down into the pan, it then transfers onto the pan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of the seasonings that I'm going to use, and I'm going to just drop them down in this this thing. So it's going to be seasoned salt. There's going to be some onion powder, just the normals, nothing crazy, except for I'm going to add one other thing. Paprika, pepper, some garlic powder. And then I'm going to use some of this Memphis barbecue seasoning. So pretty much everything I put down there, but in a fine powder. Okay, so that's going to go on up there. All right, so I got the chicken spread out a little bit, and I'm just going to pat it dry. Doesn't have to be like bone dry, just some dry. We're just going to do the usual. We're going to go over all of it, just heavily, just onion powder. Whoop, all over the counter. Garlic powder. Seasoned salt. Some black pepper. And some of this Memphis seasoning. And then we're gonna turn it over. I'm gonna show you how we're gonna keep the other side pretty good. Okay. What I'm gonna do now is each piece I'm gonna do individually. Take this piece here. Oh, I forgot the paprika. Whoop, here come the kids. Hold on a minute. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn it over and just season it, each one. Oh heck, I just washed the outsides off. That's becoming hard. With the same seasonings that we did on the other side. And then what you do is you take the skin that you pull down over the knuckle and you pull that back up. Now, I'm not going to leave it like that because then that was a waste of some good skin there. You're going to pull it down and you're going to get it down the best you can. Pull it, stretch it, do it, let it do its thing. Okay? See? There's always that one side that has less than the other, but there you go. Just pat that dry. And we're going to do the same thing to this chicken that we did to the others. I probably could have shook it over top of the pan. Whatever's next to me is what I'm grabbing. We are using barbecue sauce on this, so even if you didn't have these seasonings, that would be great. It wouldn't be a problem. All right, so we're gonna put the chicken down in there, and that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna repeat that process for the whole thing. All right, I put them on a wire rack in the oven. They go. I'm going to do the same thing I did with the chicken to the ribs. We're going to kind of do with this. I have a little bit of seasoning sprayed in there, and I'm just using the normal haunts. Onion powder, garlic powder, seasoned salt, pepper, and paprika. Because all of this is going to be in barbecue sauce, so a lot of times you don't even taste the seasoning, but that's the onion. At least this one I could just flip right into there. Paprika. And seasoned salt. Now we're going to zhuzh up our barbecue sauce. We're not using it straight out of the bottle. See if I get some on this one. I may not get them all on here because they're not going to be overlapping. I forgot pepper. It's in the tray anyway. And then I'm going to do the same thing there that I just did. All 13 little riblets, I don't know what they're called. They're little rib end slices. are all seasoned up. I'm going to put them in the refrigerator just so they're not sitting out until about 20-25 minutes before it's going on, so we can get them down to room temperature. All right, here we go. This looks like a lot, but here's the thing. My kids said they wanted macaroni and cheese. And I said, well, the budget is what the budget is. So if you want macaroni and cheese, you're going to have to figure out what we're going to cut. So they asked what the rules were. I told them I could use pantry staples, things I have in my house, but I can't go out and buy anything additionally. But a couple of weeks ago, I was gifted cases of like that powdered macaroni and cheese. So that's what they want, but they had to give something up. So what did they give up? The barbecue sauce. Now that I don't have barbecue sauce, I now have to make it. Unplanned, but we're gonna do it. For the brown sugar back here, the recipe calls for 1.5 cups. I usually start with 1 cup because sometimes it's sweetened up and sometimes it's not. So you need 1.5 cups or 1 cup of brown sugar, 1.5 cups of ketchup, 1/2 cup of apple cider vinegar, a tablespoon of the Worcestershire sauce, 2 teaspoons of paprika, onion powder, kosher salt, and the pepper is 1 teaspoon. I think that's, and 1/2 teaspoon of ground mustard. In goes the ketchup. This should yield about 2 cups. And there's been times where I just made it too liquidy, that you make a little bit of a cornstarch slurry, and then you thicken it up. Okay, 1.5 cups of ketchup. Well, I already told you how much it is, so I'll have to keep saying it. Kosher salt. Ground. That's the onion powder. I thought I was going to say ground mustard. Paprika. It's a little moist in here today. Things are all sticking to my containers. Some of the W sauce. Some pepper. Ground mustard. Cider vinegar. And the brown sugar. Oop. And we're going to give that a good old whisking. Okay. Just shot it right out of the pot. Got to add a little bit of the water. All the water, almost all the water. I usually end up adding a little extra Worcestershire sauce. So you guys are getting your macaroni and cheese since I have to make my barbecue sauce. All right. It needs the sugar. The vinegar was quite prevalent today. So we're going to put this on the stove. We're going to bring it to a simmer, and we're going to let it bubble, bubble, bubble for about 10 minutes. All right, so I'm going to move that over. I'll move you over when it starts to bubble. Okay, this has been simmering for a little bit. It's reduced down nicely. It's thickened up nicely. I don't think I need any cornstarch in it because sometimes I do. Maybe there's just too much water. I don't know. But we're going to get out to the grill now. Those are about halfway there. I'm taking them out. We're going to start grilling in a few minutes. Here is one of the 5 cases that I got. I think it's 5. And we've eaten that much out of it already. This is why I don't dare buy any macaroni and cheese. But since we made the barbecue sauce, I can add 2 boxes of macaroni. Yeah, because they're like 58 cents each. And that barbecue sauce was $1.40 something. So time for the beans. Okay, I don't measure for this. I just add. That's just how I do. I just add a couple of dollops of butter to it. Now, this is not really butter. This is Country Crock vegetable spread because we can't use butter. But just like, that's probably like 2 teaspoons, maybe a little bit more than that, but not much more than that. I add some syrup. some mustard, whatever kind you like, cinnamon, and some brown sugar. Because even though they're brown sugar hickory smoke, they still need it. It's just not enough for us. Should have measured, but I didn't. Just a little bit. And we're going to give that a good mixing. Trying to get the butter to go all the way through. Okay. All right. So I'm going to cover that up and put it in the oven. Okay, here we go. I have 5 ears of corn. I still need to rinse them off. I shuck them and everything else, but what I do is I take these corn on the cobs, because not everybody eats a whole cob in my house. So I just break them in half, and then I get 10 pieces versus 5 pieces for $2. Actually, they were less than $2. Oh, no, they weren't, because I got 5. All right, so I just give it a little bit of a thing on there like that. And then, boop, done. All chopped up, gotta go into the pot after I rinse them and start boiling. Okay, we're gonna start boiling those. All right, we got a lot of it cooking out here. This is a full grill. We can't even get the hot dogs on yet. All right, we're adding barbecue sauce. All right, the beans are done. They're a little bit liquidy for me, but we're ready to eat. And here we go. Look at all that food. We have the chicken over there on the end. We have some macaroni and cheese for Eric in the little bowl. We got those little riblet things. We got our hot dogs the way the kids like them. I don't eat hot dogs, and they like them charred. We got some coleslaw. We got some corn. We got baked beans. And just regular old everyday macaroni and cheese. So I'm going to plate up, and me and Eric are going to try that for you to see what it tastes like. And there's my plate. I know I can't eat all of that food, but let's get to tasting. Oh my goodness, I'm sweating like a pig over here. So sorry if I'm looking a fright. Gee whiz, let's just go in for the steak. I cut you a piece off of the chicken and a piece off of the steak. Not steak. The ribs. So, oops. Cut yours, but I didn't cut mine all the way. My left hand I can't cut. All right, let's go for the rib. Ready? Mm-hmm. Go. Mmm. Oh. Mmm. Yeah, right?
That's amazing.
And they're tender. Mmm. Mmm. I put a hot dog with my plate because you will see it before, but I'm really not going to eat it because I don't like hot dogs. But let's go for the chicken. Dip in a little bit of the barbecue sauce. Ready? Go. Mmm. I like that.
That's good.
Which piece of meat do you like better? The ribs.
Chicken.
The chicken? Mmm. The only other thing we really have to try on here is the coleslaw and the beans. Because macaroni and cheese is macaroni and cheese and corn is corn. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's go for the beans. Mmm. Those are good. Go wait for another bite.
That's amazing.
Like that? That's good. What was, oh, coleslaw.
Oh yeah, that's the last thing we have to do.
That's the last thing you guys taste, because a hot dog's a hot dog. Okay.
That's good.
I'm ready. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Go. Mmm.
That's good.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad I gave that a lot of time to set up.
That's good.
That's really good. All right. Well, let's get everybody stuffed and fed. and we'll see what they thought about it at the end. Oh wait, there's more coming. I gotta show you the cupcake ice cream things. I have to ice them and then give them to the kids a little bit later, but we'll be back for that. Alrighty, it's dessert time. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to attempt to pipe it on. I have bits and pieces of old cheapy plastic things. So if it doesn't work out, I'm just gonna swirl it on out of a regular Ziploc baggie or one of these baggies. But I'm trying to give it a little bit of shape. I also rooted around in my cabinet and found some jimmies. Looks okay to me. I think I'll use that. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna load her up. So what you do is you put a little bed of icing down in the center. Now I don't have the right tip, so it's not gonna come out really well. Make yourself a little bit of a mound. Right there. And just go around around the edge, like an ice cream would come out of the machine. Boop. There you go. Then what I do is I take the jimmies and just sprinkle some on top. There you go. That's what it looks like. All right, let me complete the rest and then I'll show you. I'm not doing a great job, but they're gonna be edible. They're starting to come out a little bit better. The more I go, the better they get. And I am done. Now we're gonna go eat those. If you get any benefit at all from my content, you can help me out by clicking like, share, commenting, and definitely hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. Dessert time! Oh, you got your arms going in a roll. We had to wait. The sun has long since set, but our bellies were full. We could not. So, you ready today?
Yes, I am.
Or ready now, I should say? Let's go. I'm scared the bite is going to go up my nose. Mmm. I don't know if you can see in there, but you see the cake? Mmm. That is good.
That's amazing.
Mmm. Mmm. Sweet though.
Mm.
Yeah. For me, I'd pick the icing off and just eat the cake. Let me get up and show you what it looks like. Hopefully you could see it. That's what it looks like inside. There you go. There you go. Alrighty. Alright. We're going to give everybody their ice cream cone, and then we're going to find out what they thought about the dinner as a whole. Bye-bye.